Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're decoding something absolutely massive. We are looking at the profound Kabbalistic mechanics behind an ancient physical ritual, and we're going to see how it actually acts as a literal cosmic structural necessity. We're not just casually exploring a tradition here. We are pulling back the curtain on the divine architecture of the human form itself. Drawing straight from deeply mystical sources like the Zohar and the Pardes, we're going to break down how the Brit Milah, the covenant of circumcision, actually functions as the ultimate completion of the divine imprint within human anatomy. It's fascinating stuff. Right out of the gate, the Tikkunei Zohar frames this not just as a one-time physical action, but as a permanent, systemic seal. The language in these ancient texts describes something remarkably similar to a modern biometric signature. It is an energetic imprint that literally authenticates the soul's presence and identity in the physical world. To wrap our heads around this, think of it like an ultra-secure cybersecurity system. The human soul is this incredibly advanced, complex network, but it requires one final encryption bit to fully activate its core identity. Without this highly specific authentication key, the system remains partially locked down, totally unable to access the highest frequencies of divine light. The Brit Milah is that exact missing key. Here is our cosmic blueprint for today. We'll cover the divine biometric system, the anatomy of the holy name, the final authentication key, red corruption versus white purity, and finally, unlocking the ultimate seal. Let's get into it. Section 1, the divine biometric system. I want you to mentally picture a cinematic, brilliant 4K heritage scene. Imagine a human body entirely illuminated as a living, breathing vessel of glowing divine letters. The face is absolutely radiant, the currents of holiness are moving through it, but here's the catch. The system is actually incomplete. It's waiting for one final hidden point of light, the letter Yud, to descend and perfectly lock into the pattern. Until that Yud connects, those powerful currents of holiness simply cannot flow at their full capacity. For all you cosmic engineers out there, this brilliantly illustrates how the human form operates as a strict biometric system. According to the Zohar, when we are born, the system is vulnerable. It's wide open to what Kabbalah calls klipot. Think of klipot as external spiritual malware. To fight this off, the system requires a final encoded key to establish a rock-solid identity and maintain secure system integrity against any external corruption. Section 2. Anatomy of the Holy Name. Detailed exhaustively in texts like the Pardes Rimonim and the Etz Chaim, we get this staggering architecture, mapping the holy name directly across the Sephirots, or divine dimensions. Look at how it lines up. The Yud corresponds to Chokmah, the point of origin. The first He is Bina, which handles system expansion. The Vav is Tiferet, balancing the human form. And the final He is Malkut, the manifest identity. But the absolute crucial link here is Yesod. Yesod acts as the Brit, the covenantal sealing channel. It is the precise, targeted portal where that final energetic signature is applied. Now, 10 represents the complete divine structure of the Sephirot. It is the perfect, fully operational system. But a network of 10 dimensions can only function optimally when all of its components are flawlessly linked and entirely free from interference. And the number 1 represents the Yud, the unity point of origin. In these mystical texts, the Yud is geometrically described as a single, indivisible point. It's the exact, highly concentrated encryption bit needed to finalize and secure that overarching structure of 10. Section 3, the final authentication key. The timeline of a soul's descent is highly, highly specific. The system is definitely not finalized upon birth. The Zohar explains that the physical system manifests and stabilizes over a period of 7 days. It actually waits for the 8th day, a number deeply symbolic of a dimension beyond the natural physical cycle, for that biometric seal to finally be activated. Think of this process like unlocking the ultimate video game character upgrade. To activate your character's absolute maximum abilities, you have to follow a strict protocol. Step 1, you must remove the klippa, ripping out the corrupting malware that blocks the divine signal. Step 2, you reveal the Atar, the sacred core site where the divine presence rests. In Step 3, you imprint the missing Yud. Boom. Only then are your character's ultimate abilities permanently unlocked. So, we have to ask the critical question. What happens if this protocol isn't followed? What is the actual risk? Well, the texts are very clear. Without this key, the entire system short circuits. The divine light becomes heavily obscured, and the highest frequencies of the soul's potential remain totally inaccessible because the channel is blocked by interference. Okay, get ready for this, because this acronym from the Tikkunei Zohar is a literal mic drop. Take the phrase from Deuteronomy, Mi ya'le lanu hashemayim, who shall go up for us to heaven? Take the first letters of those Hebrew words, Mem, Yud, Lamed, He. That spells Milah. Now take the final letters of those exact same words, Yud, He, Vav, He. That spells the divine name, Wav, He, Vav, He. This mathematically proves, right within the text, that Milah is intrinsically, structurally locked to the divine name. It is the literal spelling out of the code.
Section 4. Red corruption versus white purity.
This comparison perfectly illustrates the binary outcomes of the system's integrity. In Kabbalistic mechanics, the color white represents a completely pure, sealed system operating under chesed, or loving kindness. The current is totally flawless. Red, on the other hand, signifies severe din, or judgment. It flashes like a warning light indicating system vulnerability, defilement, and a major distortion of the seal. When we track the system's defense integrity, we see a really clear progression. An unsealed system sits at a highly vulnerable state. Just removing the clip-off vastly improves the defense. But it's only when that final Yud is actively imprinted that the human form hits 100% defense against the clip-ot, securing the divine network perfectly. Section 5. Unlocking the ultimate seal. The Eats chime outlines this in its system protocols, stating, they strip it bare, down to the foundation, meaning Yesod. The foundation has to be entirely stripped of any foreign malware. Why go to such lengths? So that the other gods, these external corrupting forces of the clipot, cannot attach themselves to the human operating system and drain its spiritual energy. Once that seal is securely in place, your character's ultimate force field is up and running. The upgrade is fully activated. The divine name is flawlessly imprinted across your entire spiritual anatomy. Yesod is totally protected from external attachment, effectively locking out corruption. As a direct result, those glowing 4K currents of holiness we imagined earlier can now flow perfectly and unimpeded right through the Sephirotic. The human operating system achieves total, unshakable cosmic sync. All of this leaves us with a really profound question to reflect on. Regardless of our technical understanding of Kabbalah, how do we maintain the purity and integrity of our own spiritual operating systems today? How do we make sure our daily actions protect our divine seal from the constant buzzing malware of the modern world? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.